One. What up, y'all? Welcome to the show. It's your doggy, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy, as if you didn't know. That is a little excerpt that I've been using for some reason from ICP. If you don't know them, neither do I. I am going to bring you an episode today of a two-part series. I am going to go over my favorite movies for every year in the 80s. So, from 1980 to 1989, I am going to go over my favorite movies. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get this bad boy started because I don't want this video being a half hour long. I don't want it being an hour long or 45 minutes. We're looking on, just a lunch break, quick little video, plug in your headphones here. That's what kind of guy your doggy is. Arf arf, give me a fist bump. Nice. So without further ado, the very first movie for 1980, I am going to say is my favorite horror movie of 1980, is going to be Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Very nice, very nice. This is my Warner Brothers edition of the DVD. The old cardboard case, nothing super fancy. An honorable mention would be Friday the 13th for me for 1980. Friday the 13th completely changed, slashers as far as, movies-wise go. Halloween, The Burning, all of those, obviously like Black Christmas and everything were early too. But Friday the 13th was a really big, influential movie as far as my favorite overall franchise. Friday the 13th probably has the most movies in it that I would say are my favorite of Halloweens and so on and so forth. But for 1980, I'm going to say my favorite movie is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Tons of parts that are terrifying, tons of parts that stick in the back of your mind, tons of parts that wind up in your nightmares. There's tons of things. The older I get with this movie, the more that I see, the more that I pick up on. They've released a bunch of documentaries on it, just different things behind it. The Shining, I absolutely love it. I love this movie. My pick for 1981, my favorite horror movie of 1981. And may I mention, these are all really tough. If I get into the 70s, if I get into the 90s, be a little bit easier. The 80s are my favorite time for movies in general. The practical effects and the acting, the dress, everything. I just love the 80s as far as movies. 1981 though is going to be Rick Rosenthal's Halloween 2. Halloween 2, very nice. This is my old Universal DVD. Nothing, oops, I'm about to break it. Nothing amazing. Cover art on the disc, boom. Nothing to it, side art. The cover is very cool, though, I might say. I've always loved that cover. The back, nothing too crazy. But Halloween 2 with me might be my favorite Halloween of all of them. I just love the whole general pace of the movie. It is a sequel, but the movie is sweet if you've never seen it. I highly suggest. And that is my favorite horror movie for 1981. 1982. We are going to go with John Carpenter's The Thing. Oh, shnikes. The Thing. All right. So, this is my Universal release. It's got a slip cover. One of my earlier movies that I remember that have a slip cover, actually. The reverse art of this bad boy. Kurt Russell back there just being a badass as usual. Nothing new. The actual disc holder / insert. Some cool artwork in there. Kurt Russell got the disc. You take out the disc and it's, I don't know, something or rather, whatever. It's not just a plain silver disc, so thumbs up. Farts. So yeah. Honorable mention with 1982 is going to be the original Creepshow. I love Creepshow. It's one of my favorites of all time. I really don't like doing favorite movies or top movies just because it gets kind of tough. I just love movies in general to where for me to say I like this better than this. It's kind of hard because a lot of times, you know, I can flip-flop as far as, you know, like what I'm loving about something at one point and what I'm loving about something at another. For me, as far as a horror movie to go back and watch and to enjoy over and over and over, the practical effects, the acting, Kurt Russell in it, John Carpenter directing, you don't get any better. I mean, the movie is sweet. It is, you know, for horror, one of the closest to perfection that I could ask for. So, as I said, Creepshow is a close number 2. But that is my pick for 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing. Okay, 1983. All right, so John Carpenter is killing it because he also got my pick for 1983 with Christine. Very nice. This is my copy, my DVD copy of Columbia Pictures. It comes with the very amazing. I feel like there was a chapter insert in this. For whatever reason, there's not. But with the amazing bootleg looking silver disc, I bought this bad boy used, as you can see, for $3.99. 1983 was kind of goofy as far as some of the releases. Honorable mention for me would be Jaws 3D. Not the best Jaws effort, but, you know, as opposed to like Jaws the Revenge and even Part 2, I loved Part 3 just because it was cheesy. It had the 3D effects, you know, so on and so forth. Some of the kills were, you know, funny. But Christine is definitely a sweet movie and my favorite of 1983. You know, it's just, it's always been a movie there for my friends and I. Always been one that's been enjoyable. You know, you can't get any better than having a Plymouth Fury possessed vehicle that's killing people. The movie is sick. You know, it's kind of set in those times where, you know, old boy's kind of like the greaser type look and turns into a bad man, you know, ever since, you know, he was a nerd and now he's, you know, like too cool for school. And you know, it's just yeah, John Carpenter kills it once again with Christine. So that is my pick for 1983. 1984. All right, so this one was interesting, to say the least. My pick was Joseph Zito's Friday the 13th Part 4. Now, I've got a DVD box set that's all textured and, you know, real nice for the time when I bought it. And this is, for whatever reason, the only copy of Part 4 that I can find is this little itty-bitty included in that case, in that collection of all the Friday the 13th. So don't be too bummed out. I need to get a physical copy of that one alone. Now, for 1984, the final chapter of Friday the 13th came out, or that's what it's called. The practical effects in it. Corey Feldman's in this bad boy, playing Tommy Jarvis. You know, it's just, there's so many different things about it. You know, he's really into effects himself and makeup and such, and you know, it's just kind of a cool take on the movie. Joseph Zito also did The Prowler, which is a really cool movie. My honorable mention, though, for 1984 would be Gremlins to me. There's other features that came out that year, obviously, but Gremlins is like, it's kind of a horror movie, kind of a Christmas movie, kind of, it's almost like it's not like a children's movie or a kid's movie, because there's some aspects of it that can be terrifying, you know, if you're a little kid watching. But I just didn't know if I wanted to consider it a horror movie. Like, it is, but as far as horror movie wise, Friday the 13th Part 4 is definitely a sick choice and my choice for the best horror film of 1984. So, without further ado, that's going to be the end of this video. Be sure to check out the second half, and I will be going over 1985, 86, 87, and 88, and 89. I will be going over all of those and finishing off this 2-part series of my favorite 80s movies. So without further ado, give me a ding, give me a dong, give me a bing, give me a bong, give me a like, give me a share. If you don't, I do not care at the end of the day. I just want to enjoy some sweet 80s scares with my doggies. Arf, arf. Get at your boy. Holler at me at Instagram. Tell me if you have any sort of videos that you would like me to do, or just questions or comments. Hit up your doggy. With that being said, I'm going to hit you with the old 3, 2, 1.
Nice.